Hello, welcome to my garden, and this is the garden tour of my garden this second day of, or third day of spring. And as you can see, nothing's really growing very much. There are a few plants starting to come up out of the ground and starting to leaf out. The irises are just poking out. Try to get my shadow out of the way here. And got a lot of weeds growing around my bleeding heart there. But as you can see, pretty much nothing is really growing yet. The Shasta daisies are just sitting there sleeping pretty much. Everything else, and then we'll go over here, and this is just a little decorative bed here, and then we'll go on in my herb garden here, and sage isn't growing yet. The thyme has survived. The dog is trying to get in the picture. There's this chives is doing okay, and the tarragon's just coming out of the ground. Like I said, I try to get my shadows out of here. There's the arugula, I believe. And then we have our tulips coming up. Tansy, which I don't know if that's a good thing to plant in your herb garden or not, but I did, but it seems to seed itself down. And those are my Egyptian or walking onions. And there's a whole little patch of chervil, which is self-seeded from last year. And my lovage isn't up yet, and really not everything is up yet. And we have our little greens bed here, which is really nothing up yet, because nothing is growing. So I'm not going to hide anything. I left a few onions in there. They're doing alright. I left some turnips in there that I never got harvested. But the daffodils are coming up and the garden's growing around. And then here in my garden, or my yard, you can see that I have crocuses planted throughout my yard. And I got the idea for planting crocuses in my yard when my daughter was just a baby. And Teletubbies was our show of choice. Boring. I like the idea of grass with the flowers growing in it, so I thought that looked kind of neat, and I planted a whole bunch of crocuses in my lawn. And crocuses have an advantage of growing in the lawn, because as they grow in your lawn, they flower beautifully, but then the leaves pretty much just look like the grass. They have a little white stripe on them, but when your grass is growing, you never even know they're there, and they can kind of just hide right in the grass. It's one of the nice ones for naturalizing. And this is pretty much the tour of my herb garden and my greens garden and my perennial gardens. I will show you my vegetable gardens in the next video.